You're dead!
What it do, guys? And today we're gonna be looking at a balance patch because I thought about doing this during GVG, but I was like, when I looked at it, I was like, this is gonna be too long. It'll be like a 20-minute looking at a balance preview. So I'm gonna make a separate video for it. As you can tell, it's really early in the morning. You can tell like my lighting and it's dark back there. Cause I was gonna go, work out at like 6 a.m. in the morning. So we're gonna look through the balance patch real quick and make a separate video, and then the GVG will be released later today when it's nice and sunny and I'm fully rested. So let's quickly go look at them. So with this balance adjustment, we plan to implement changes to 16 heroes, 4 artifacts, 20 things being changed, and system changes. So I think the biggest thing we're gonna look at is the system change, because that changed how buffs work and how things get stripped. So here's the thing that blew my mind. A lot of Gen 1 units are getting changed. On top of that, there's some non-played units. I'm trying not to be so loud because it's like 6 a.m. in the morning, by the way. So Ruele, what's changed? Her S1 before it recovered the health of all allies. So it's an AoE set of the lowest health ally, and the amount recovered is decreased. Now don't get this wrong. This had like really disgusting scaling because it only healed 2 people, so it makes sense. But if she's on a counter and she heals, she pretty much just keep your team alive without using any of the abilities. Her S2, before granting them a barrier, why do my phone always do that when I'm recording? Before granting them a barrier and damage limit for 2 turns. So summon a pillar light dispels all demons from an ally, recovering their health, and before granting them a barrier and damage limit for 2 turns. Damage limit. So you telling me that they get a free, you can't one-shot them ability? That sounds great, especially, oh my god, think of my putting on Arya though. Dude, this RTA season is about to be chaotic. All of the allies debuffs were displayed before, and at the start of the battle, grant Spirit Lord's protection to the caster. Upon receiving lethal damage, this will have a cooldown. Revive with 50% HP, so pretty much once per game. You will come back unless you get extinction. This is about to be chaotic, because you can have something like Abigail into Ruele with Bridal, and then Ruele, and they have like Arya just sitting there in the back or just on the side, so Ruele can just revive and put invisibility on her. Oh my god, a turn 2 bunker team is about to be hell of annoying. We're gonna go on because this is about to be a long video. So Silverblade Aramintha, I looked at this and I was like, oh my god. So I take away the decreased combat rating by 25% when somebody has a burn, she does the extra attack. It said she detonates burns on effect on the enemy at the end of the turn, which is honestly better considering that you don't use it for PvE really. Let's save things for like if the enemy decides to cleanse off all the trillion burns that Silverblade decides to do. You can now just detonate them and blow them up at the end of the turn, which is honestly great. At the start of battle, increase attack proportionate to effectiveness. Mine's like 165. The rate of increased attack does not change after it is activated. So on top of having 6k attack by Silverblade Aramintha, having 165 effectiveness, and when an ally set for the caster is their turn, with anybody, it's not that she got to use AoE. It used to be AoE, yeah. Here's the thing, so far it looks like they're trying to bring not speed boosts, they're trying to like go away from speed now. Since her settings out, they're trying to go like HP speed, defense speed, or attack speed with some speed in their effectiveness. They try to slow down a game instead of just being go first and kill. That's what it seems like they're doing, because allies set for the caster ends their turn, increase combat ratings by 15%, so with anybody in their turns. Of course it's gotta be faster, but in immediate fall, it's not a 65% chance, but it's a guaranteed chance to apply 2 burns. You might get 15% it, and it's a 4-turn cooldown now, which is honestly great. I hope people don't complain about these. Like, let the game change. Let it have some fun. So last rider crowd, I don't really have them, but aggressive barriers for all allies for 2 turns. I'm assuming that's when you get attacked. And it's S3, summon Siegfried and attack on and decrease skill cooldown of all allies by 1 turn. That counts for himself technically. As an 8-turn cooldown, it makes sense because when you use it, it's go to 7 turn when it used to be 7 turns. So you might as well for all allies, so everybody. So he no longer need to be a fast krau. He could be like a turn 2 krau and everybody else go before him. And then you give him a -1. Alright. Commander Cpavel, just increased damage dealt on his S. Is that his S3? I'm assuming it's his S3. Penetrate by 70%. Not bad. It improved a little bit much. This minus skill cooldown doesn't really do much for Cpavel, but decreased damage will just kill somebody. Desire Dlilibet, decrease defense by 1 turn. Slow burn, increase the chance by 100%, which is honestly amazing. You can now use her in PvE or Abyss, because a lot of Abyss floors need defense breakers and or cleansers. Being a second cleanser, the damage deal would be great. Gain fighting spirit, but she grants increased defense and immunity for 1 turn. Okay, so she can't be spam debuff after she cleans herself. Well, they gotta strip it off, but then who wanna strip off Dlilibet? So S3, before increasing combat with all allies by 15%. By all allies, that means herself. I think it says all except for the caster. So she increases her combat range by 15% and penetrates the target defense by 50%. Damage dealt decrease. I can understand. This thing usually hit like a truck if you have a free defense buff. On top of that, she's defense scaling. You can definitely use her in Abyss if somebody have her. She will definitely save you in Abyss. I'm thinking of a PvE because I was like, why does this character have debuff like strips, but you can't really use her in PvE because she has a silence and 90% of the bosses can't be silenced. But now she got a defense break. Twisted the Duel in Cpavel. Attack the enemy with a sword, aggress a barrier to the caster for 1 turn. Ain't that what it did? When triggered as a counterattack, it changes to attack the target on enemies. It lost the damage lost, so they lost HP. Barrier strength increased proportion to the caster's max. Damage dealt during counterattack is good because that thing only hit for like 3k. Wandering Idolin, that's his S2, right? At the start of battle, adopted, okay. Increased counter rated to caster by 100%, which is honestly good because once you get to 100%, you just get 50%, and then they just focus you because after that, you just do nothing or just wait your turn because you usually don't build speed on Idolin, quit the Idolin Cpavel. And this S3 is now 5,000 on a successful attack to 15,000, which is honestly great. I'm pretty sure I have videos where I will get max 10k. His S3 hits like a wet noodle. It did like 5k. On top of that, it did a 10k. And then like everybody would just survive, or some people would just survive. Like, okay, what's the point of this if they're just gonna survive? You still kill them after because they'd be like 5 HP unless they're candy, and they just salvo you and then run you over with a damn ship, and then you just die from that alone. But it's like very rare that they will live to 10k. But 15k seems like they just anybody. Well, even if it would have had warriors, they're gonna die. Alright, Melissa, damage dealt increased proportion of the caster's lost HP is gone. It is damage dealt, so damage dealt increased. So I'm assuming it'll take the loss proportion to just give it to her damage increase, which is gonna be good. It might bring her back. Melissa is like her 90th time being changed. I feel like they're trying to force Melissa into team cops. Melissa keep getting changed. Says damage dealt increase proportion of the target's lost health, which is honestly good for his S1. It's still the same thing on Awaken. It just moved Encroach to his S2, his Diehard, which kind of sucks because if he gets sealed, because his S1 is not technically a passive, he can't use the Encroach. But I'm assuming they did that for that one reason. So after allies after caster attacks, so anybody, like Closer Charles, well, the target health is 30% or less. So Closer Charles, he's also a finisher. Activating Encroach. Encroach can only be activated once every 3 turns, which is not bad because they usually will die. Encroach hits like a truck. Especially from Says. Releases dark energy to attack all enemies and increase combat rating of the caster by 30%. Damage dealt increase proportions to the target's loss. I guess okay. So this will hit like a truck. Mine's on a rage set. If I have like Bloom and Litica, they put minus speed and then close the Charles and finish them, they're gonna die. It's not bad. Oh, and later. Dispel 1 debuff from all allies when using concentrated crown. This effect is applied before healing. That's good. If they have anti-heal, they'll just get healed. And that was it. They won't be healed. Mort. After attacking, pierce with 50% decrease the defense for 2 turns. Ignore effect rates of any targets with max HP lower than the target's max HP. So if you have lower HP than Mort, wait, you can build. Well, I just thought about that. It's max HP, not current HP. So injury. Absolute dignity. Used to be immune to sleep and stun. Now it's immune to debuffs which prevent movement. All heroes except for the caster cannot counterattack. Oh damn. Wait. All heroes except for the caster cannot counterattack. So that means your allies also. When an ally's attack has a 20%, okay, absolute dignity. It makes sense now that it's called absolute dignity. When an ally is attacked, has a 20% to counterattack, so Elmer's, and after attacking, has a 100% chance to use Sacred Blessing. Sacred Blessing can only be activated once every 3 turns. Grants skill nullifiers to all allies and increase speed to the caster for 2 turns. So you got an ML Lena ability where nobody, all heroes, that means the enemy too, and your allies. So nobody but him can counterattack. Mort's about to be insane. Dude, this buff is about to be insane. This sends this guy inflicting fear for 2 turns. I don't even know what fear, okay, I think it's inflicting fear for 2 turns before recovering health of the caster. Penetrates defense of the enemy with the highest max HP by 70%, damn. Takes somebody to get screwed. Ignore effect resists of any target with max HP lower than the target's max HP. Alien F is about to get some work out of this. Acquire 3 souls, 4 turn cooldown, damage dealt increase, and healing increase. So his artifact actually makes sense now. Even though it's a one-time use, they should definitely change that artifact. Fear cannot act for a certain number of turns. At the start of the turn, has a 40% chance to be dispelled. Bro, that sounds busted as hell. What? This one kind of reminds me of Fiddlesticks from League of Legends. Fear cannot act for a certain number of turns. Oh my god. Imagine putting block on somebody. I can see why they didn't do the release Hersetti kit. Imagine putting block on somebody and then you fear them so they can't be cleansed off unless by themselves. and they can't act for that turn. You just skip a turn technically. Morty's about to go insane, dude. This is the biggest concern, is the fear. I know you can cleanse it off, probably. I don't know if it's an undispellable. It don't say it's undispellable, but it's a I don't know. But Morty's about to be insane. Morty's gonna be insane. So yulha, nothing really changed. When attack reflect 40% is death suffered to the attacker. It used to be 30, so a 10% increase. It might come in handy, especially with Moon, not Buddy, but Dominion would reflect. Maybe it might be funny. 4 turn cooldown for an S3 and increased damage dealt. Okay, this is not much, but we'll see. Because Morty's about to go insane. That's all I can really say. Bloomilytica penetrates the target's defense by 50%. ML Illnet's about to get some work in. ALots, 2 turns, 4 turn cooldown. Decent, good. Exploiting weakness point. And so exploiting weakness is, I think it's somebody in the front or you're in the back or one. It's one positional thing, or it's a position I'm thinking of Hawkeye. Pretty much, you get attacking speed. Pretty much, increase attack for 2 turns. So they get attacking speed on top of they get an attack buff for 2 turns. That's right, Car. Attack all enemies with powerful magic with an 80% chance to increase defense. Okay, so it's going to be a good PvE unit. Also, it's being adjusted to reduce its effectiveness in PvE. Well, I lied. While enhancing its performance in PvE. It's still like it could be good for PvE. Exploiting weakness point and increased attack is going to be good for like one-shots. The recall for Oxide scheduled to take place 10/24. Lasted for 2 weeks. Only ALots attained in the hero inventory before the maintenance. They should have did this for Pirate Flan now. Since they're changing them so hard, they should have did this with Pirate Flan, since they're making it 2 turns so you can't spam, S2 infinitely and have like infinite one-shots mechanics and stuff like that, so people don't get mad. You can refund the Molagores and stuff from him and stuff like that. Peacemaker Furious, the big one. S1, when used on the caster turn, grants an extra attack with the same skill if the caster is above. So it's not like it's not a 40% anymore. It's a guaranteed chance. Okay. Increase speed and defense of all allies for 2 turns. they didn't buff this, but pretty much it's indomitable, except minus that factor S. But the defense for 2 turns is actually pretty great. Alright, S3. Attack all enemy with a huge explosion. Decrease the cover radius by 30%. Penetrating defense by 60%. Damage down, increase percentage, remove 10 cells from the enemy. The additional skill that previously occurred by chance will quarter and not trigger consistently with Peacemaker have a buff. Allow for more reliable focus. Okay, still got focus. That's still butt cheeks. But I'm glad it's not up to a maximum of 60%. I'm glad it's just 60% flat. but still, he's already plus 15. I gotta play with him. Veronica, Vampire Hunter. Increase cover rate is cast by 50%. Wait, 50%? I had to go back. 50% is huge. Can you not build? Usually use Veronica just for the speed buff, right? Genoa and whatnot. You'll move up with Genoa. So Armin, when attack has a 15% chance to counterattack, this is an S2. When an ally is attacked by a single target, decreased damage. Okay, they're giving it back to her. It's 20. It was 20%, but it's 30%, which is honestly good. So cruel mischief, trials 15 to 30%, but it's 20 to 40%. This artifact skill can only be applied to one hero team. Pure White Trust. This was Zaha's artifact. After using a non-attack skill for warriors, gain 10 souls at a 50 to 100% chance to increase critical hit damage to the caster for 2 turns. Skill can only be acquired once, which is good, but I want to miss the speed for the caster and increase a next attack by 30%. Oh, it was just for the next attack, but you can increase speed, but the critical damage for 2 turns is going to be great. RNL, increase attack by 10%. Okay. Yes. Okay. Hostess of the Banquet. Effect range is 20 to 40, but when attacking, increase damage dealt by 5 to 10%. It's not 1 year lower. And when a target health is 50% or more, increase damage dealt by an additional 4 to 8%. Okay, this makes sense that when attacking, a target health is 50% or more, increase damage by 8 to 16%. It's a little bit better because you just get a flat, 5 to 10% increased damage. And if there happen to be more, then, you do additional damage, which is better than they have to be above 50%. Or you just lose this. Pretty good for more units to use for like Tkayron, which I'm going to be using it on. He actually has it on him. Currently, the battle system E7 operates a mechanism where if an additional turn effect occurs more than once in a single turn due to certain artifacts, so man and butterfly and whatnot, all effects are stored and granted as stacked additional turns. While there are probability variables included, this can sometimes lead to situations where the battle is excessively influenced, particularly causing frustration during battle. Therefore, we plan to revise the battle rules to prevent additional turns from being stacked. So if extra turns occur twice or more in a single turn, extra turn will continue to occur in subsequent I can't say that word, turns. So let's say man and butterfly and whatnot. Mainly man and butterfly can give you a full extra turn at the end of your turn, but it's like a 3% chance. If extra turn occurred twice or more in a single turn, only 1 extra turn will be applied and no additional turns will occur. So really those games when I had one where Rand had RNL 4 times in a row during GVG and he just S2'd and he got an extra turn and then he S3 because RNL didn't go off and then he S1 and RNL went off again and then he S2'd and then S3 and like this is good, but it's gonna be crazy for people that want to really cheese somebody on GVG. Since GVG has a higher chance of proccing, by the way, if you guys didn't know. So you can recall RNL and Man and Butterfly. I have 2 Man and Butterfly, so this is gonna be funny. I get my free charms. Whoop-de-doo. But this is great. I gotta say that I'm honestly looking forward to Mort. This video is gonna be going on too long, but where's Mort at? Mort is about to be a slayer, but just like this patch where I thought Herseti and Amiki was gonna be the thing, Assyria ended up being, Assyria is gonna work so well with Mort. Assyria's gonna work well with Silverblade or Aramintha or Tkayron or Dlilibet. But the real winner is gonna be where's the kid at? Peacemaker Furious. I like this. More units to play with, more things to mess around with, more jumbled mess to try. Melissa's there for the 50th time, say what it says. And yulha didn't really change, it just made her slightly better, which is honestly good. They should do this like a patch where they just make, instead of like fully reworking them like Ruele and Mort, just tweak their scaling like a little bit, like 5% instead of giving them EE or 10% and just make them slightly better. This is honestly good. What you guys think? Anyway, see you guys around. Let me go work out. Peace.